Merry Christmas!
My next guest is without doubt one of the world's biggest music stars. My favourites of all time, that. Please welcome Annie Lennox. Cleaned up well. Annie, this new CD is a departure, a Christmas cornucopia. It's carols, and I guess many people wouldn't have associated you with carols.
That's right, absolutely not. But I sang them when I was a kid. And, you know, when you learn Christmas carols, they never leave you. They stay with you your whole life. And although I'm not a Christian, Christmas is like a celebration in a religious way, but it's also a secular celebration. And I kind of have this as part of my culture, you know. And actually, at home, I've got a little book of Christmas carols that I bought in a second-hand junk shop somewhere, and they come from the 20s. They're very old-fashioned, that sweet thing, and I used to play them, and I always thought, this is so beautiful. I'd like to do my own chords. I'd like to have my own interpretation of the carols that I just love, and this is it. This is the cornucopia.
But they have what you have, which is great emotional power, and I guess it's particularly... You're quite raw when you're a child and you get that kind of music fed into you, so it's interesting that it's stayed and now it's coming out again.
Well, what I think about the carols is that quite often, you know, we're so used to hearing them, it's like hymns, you tend to sing them by rote. You've sung them so many times, it comes, oh, you know, it's automatic. And what I wanted to try to do, this is my sort of little creative challenge to myself, is to really infuse the songs with a fresh energy, so you feel like you haven't heard them before, and they've got this kind of vitality about them.
We've got one new one on here, Universal Child.
That's right. That. Well, I hadn't intended to write a song for this album, but it's a funny thing. I had, you know, songwriting is a really mysterious process. You know, so many people would like to have the formula for that, and although I am a songwriter and I have been for years, I still haven't fully understood how the songs really come. And I had this title, Universal Child, and I was thinking about the fact that each one of us on the planet, doesn't matter which part of the globe that you're from, you've been a baby once, someone gave birth to you, you needed to be protected and cared for. And in my work as a campaigner and an activist for HIV and AIDS, I've met some of the most vulnerable children on the planet, and that's been a big turning point in my life. And as a mother myself, I feel very passionate about human rights, children's rights, women's rights. You know, so this title, Universal Child, came to mind, and a song sprang out of it. And so that is this kind of part of the theme of the Christmas cornucopia.
A bit like being a medium, in a way.
In a way, I think that artists, perhaps we are. Perhaps we sort of absorb the creative collective, subconscious, and we give it back, we mirror it back to ourselves. Yeah.
What about your own children, now 17 and 20?
Yeah,
so what do they
ladies.
make of Mum?
What do they make of me?
What do they make of you?
Well,
are you an embarrassment to them in the sense that we all are?
I think all have you not found that out?
Oh, yes.
See, the deal is that I thought I was going to be the coolest mum.
Can't be done, Annie, can't be done.
I'm afraid even, no.
If you're not cool, then no mum's cool.
No.
What do they tell you then? What do they
Well,
say?
To be honest, for the first kind of 8 to 10 years, my girls didn't know really what I did much, because why would they? I was at home and, you know, they hadn't seen me performing. So then Dave and I got together in 2000, just at the millennium, and we took them down to see what I do. And they were like, what are you, what's Mummy doing? It's been like that, you know.
You cannot be serious.
They slowly got used to it.
Does it embarrass them a bit then, really? Because I mean,
well, less so now, I must admit. I think they get the hang of it now. They get the idea of, you know, the fact that I am what I am. This is who I am. I am an artist. I am a singer. I do dance when they're going like, don't, dance.
Pop culture nowadays, though, I mean, it's fascinating, I think, watching pop culture, particularly nowadays. It's completely different. It seems to have a momentum, the like of which it's never had before, and also an ephemerality. It's over and done with, and there's a new one coming.
Well, I think that what we're into now is the age of celebrity industry. It's a shame, you know, the industry of celebrity saddens me, because I feel that it's dehumanizing, and that people are just turned into some kind of, how could you say, commodity. Very easy, it's quick sell, up and down like that. Whereas for me, I always thought music...
Fame was the byproduct of what you did.
Completely,
Yeah.
And still is.
Who do you rate of today's, you know, young upstarts or, you know, young, fresh musicians? Is that an unfair question?
Yeah, it is an unfair question to ask me. Well, you know, that's kind of... It's a funny thing because, you know...
What do you make of Lady Gaga, for instance? I mean, she's the one, the big sort of, you know...
Yeah, I think she has I think she has an amazing voice. I think she has a powerful presence, extraordinary, exceptional in many ways. But I'm not quite sure why, if you see what I mean. I'm not really quite sure. I wouldn't like to be... I would really not like to be in her shoes. I wouldn't choose that kind of constant focus of attention. And I guess in my own way throughout the 80s, that whole decade, and to a certain degree through the 90s, I had a lot of that kind of recognition and that kind of focus.
Because you were quite... Yeah, there was an image of Annie Lennox, you know, red hair, bra, for instance.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. Well, it was my own kind of statement about my own freedom and my own sort of sexuality, if you like, and saying, you know, if men can be like this, I will be like this. I will be as good as a man. That was always... The thinking behind my suits and all of that was that I can be as good and as strong as a man, and it was, in a way, I was trying to sort of bring something fresh and new into it, but yeah.
It seems to me that there is every bit as much passion about Annie Lennox now as there was when she started, certainly in terms of music.
Yeah, maybe even more, because as a younger person, I didn't have the experience behind me. Now I have hindsight.
Now, if you'd known then what you know now, what would you do differently? What would you have done differently? Anything?
Many things. I probably would have done differently, yes. I would have done certain things differently. But having said that, I think we all have to go through our experiences until we learn them, you know. And I mean, everybody who has the benefit of hindsight would say, yeah, but youth is wasted on the young, you know what I mean?
Would you have campaigned as hard as you did?
Oh, I would have loved to. I would have loved to. You see, you go through phases in life. I'm at such a great point in my life now that I've had my career, I still have, you know, I don't even like to say career, it's my passion for music and performance. And I've had my kids, and I still have my kids, but they're older now. And now it's like, I think in our time, you know, when you're in your 50s and you've done a lot, then it's time to give back. Yeah. And for me, that is so satisfying. And I feel that's really invigorating, because I'm engaged with things that I didn't have the time before. When I was younger, I was trying to do all those other things. Now those things are behind, and the engagement comes now. And actually, I really do feel more passionate in life, more relaxed, more like, well, I'm living in this planet.
Comfortable with yourself?
Yeah, I'm comfortable with myself, but I feel I'm so resourced. And we all have resources, you know. The clean water coming out of our taps is a huge resource. Our access to so many things. And I've seen the difference because of my journeys. Thanks to Comic Relief, first of all, for taking me to Uganda. And that was my first sort of baptism into understanding how people live in the developing world, and how cruel and unjust, and how difficult it is for women, especially, trying to bring children up in the most challenging circumstances. So as I said to you, I'm very passionate about women's rights.
I think you've made an awful lot of difference, and you've also made an awful lot of people happy with your music. Keep on doing it. Annie will be back to perform another Christmas favourite, The Hole in the Ivy, a little bit later. But for now, my thanks to the one and only, the great Annie Lennox. Thank you very much. So the Guns and Ivy, the papers continue.